Okay. So in our life as we're going along, we have these dreams or desires or ideas about um, where we want to be or what we want to do, and um, off and on, like often through life. And we want a new job, or we want to move to a new place, or we really sense there's more for us in some aspect of our life, or another new relationship, a relationship, um, or whatever it is along the path. And we spend a little time defining this and getting really excited about it. And we make a decision, and we tell our friends and family, and we kind of um, get nailed down with it, and we're super excited. And so then we decide that we're going there, and we get into our boat on the river of life, and we begin floating down. And as we're floating around, and this is the mast, this isn't you. As we're floating around, we're super excited, and off behind, as we're going in the direction of the current, and it's kind of carrying us, and we're moving away from the past, and we're moving towards the future, and we're in the boat. And as we are going along, um, farther and farther down, the cheers of our friends and family on the shore kind of fade away, because we're moving in the direction of where we're going. And we notice that we're in the boat, and we notice that we brought with us, our excitement and our idea and our concept. We brought some beliefs with us. We brought our past experiences with us, and that's all in the boat with us, kind of in the bottom. And so as we're going along, um, thoughts come along the farther we get. Ooh, excuse me. Thoughts come along that kind of masquerade themselves as clouds. And so these thoughts come first from behind us, and they come along and they're like, hey, remember the last time you tried something new? You almost capsized. And remember the time that you ventured out and you didn't have some success. And remember the time that you tried to do something else and you followed through, but it wasn't quite what you wanted. And the voices from the past are the voices of our mind, our experiences, our friends and family. And so we're kind of listing a little bit. The clouds came over, we saw them, we paid attention to them, and we attached to them. We attached to them so much so that they landed in our boat. Kind of took us, we're kind of still going down the river, but we're kind of going at a funky angle, and we're kind of spinning in circles. But we're still going, we're still moving in that direction. And then we notice here comes another storm, and it's comments from the future. Comments in the form of clouds that we listen to and we attach to. So it's kind of like, hey, what's it going to be like over there? You're like, I don't know. Going to put that in the boat. Hey, what if there's nobody over there and you end up all alone? There, another thought in the boat. And you're attaching to them as they're coming along, because they seem like really real questions that are going to make a lot of sense. And then, you have no idea what's over there at that new job, new relationship, new place. Um, Perhaps it's another, failure, because we know where we've been, right? So we know where we've been and we know where we're going. And what if around the bend you find out that there's a wrong turn? Oh my goodness, your boat is like really floundering. You're still in it, but it's really floundering. It's really struggling underneath all of this comments of the past pressing against your desire and your dream, and comments about the future that are pressing against your desire and your dream. And you're sitting in this listing boat that's having a hard time moving downstream with the current anymore. And you actually are um, sinking because you're kind of getting stuck on the bottom. You're not really moving forward anymore. And you're pretty close to taking on water. So, as we're going along in our life and we're making decisions and we get really excited and we press into it, if our foundation um, is not as powerful as it can be, when thoughts that sound like common sense and thoughts that sound like loving guidance and that create feelings within us of, ooh, this seems real, or it seems like it might happen, or, I don't want to make a wrong turn and be floundered on the shore or in some eddy somewhere. We attach to those and we take them inside, and they really kind of sit on top of our desire or dream. And at this point, I like to call this, it's either going to be two things. It's going to be you sitting in the boat saying, I better jettison my idea, because prior to all of this floundering around, I was floating. So it must be the idea that's sinking my ship. So I'm going to maybe have the death of the vision and move away, jettison, and get rid of that dream concept or idea, because prior to that, I was floating. Prior to that, I was floating. Because, see, we've forgotten that we owned all of these ice cubes in here. So you will jettison the idea, take yourself to the shore, and go back from where you came to what's familiar, what you know, and make a story or regroup, slow down, and not move forward. Second choice, grab a bucket and start bailing, right? Grab a bucket and start bailing. Because when we know the truth about life and who and what we are, as these things are flying overhead, we're like, oh, it's a cloud. It doesn't mean anything. Oh, how interesting. Oh, a storm. Good thing I have a jacket. A gust of wind. I got a sail. Ooh, it's turbulent. I'm going through some rapids, but I know nothing's ever going to hurt me or capsize my boat. I know I'm not alone. I know I'm abundant. I know that the love is in me and all around me. I know I am light in life. I know I am powerful in my dream and desire because I spent the time. I have knowing. And pretty soon, you're floating again, right? You're floating again, and you're on the current, and the current is carrying you towards your desire and your dream. So we have to discern between the truth and the lie. And we have to discern between, we have to own our truth We have to know what we're believing. We have to know the power that resides within us and our ability to walk it out. Because when we know, and I'm going to just move the river of life, when we know who and what we are, and we know the truth that we're standing on, we are not able to um, latch on to and make a connection with the lie. Our inner self will not allow it. The thought might come across our mind, the emotion might rise up within our body, but our high self will be bringing across your mind, across your heart, across the inside of your eyeballs, you are divine. You create your reality. What is your, like, you will not be able to bend and be carried away by something that is not the truth. And we have to be in this place and own this before we get in the boat. Because trying to do it once we're underway is challenging. But being within ourselves, is this a passion and desire of mine? Why is it? Owning it and coming into a place of knowing with it. Like, I know that I know that I know I belong here. Right? I knew that personally before I came here. And off and on throughout my time here, I've been like, I don't know, things are different than I thought they were going to be. Immediately, my knowing rises up in me like a tide. It's like a tide of peace, of confidence, of knowing this is where you belong. You are here right where you're supposed to be. My thinking mind, these ice cubes. I get caught in a hailstorm too, right? But the reality of life is when we make a decision, we know it's right for us, we spend time with it, we don't cut and run with the first glimpse of light of the thing, right? We chew on it. We look at it. What does it look like? Where am I going? What might I be doing there? Like, is this really for me? We put it into our heart. We put it into our high self, and we look at it, and then we live in that experience, and it becomes real to us, and we have a knowing about it. We have a knowing about it, not an emotional excitement and reaction to wanting something to happen. That would be so cool. I really want that. But we it's a deep current within the depths of our being, like, this is part of your path. This is part of your path, right? And so then when we pack our bags and we get into our boat, the tools that we have in there, our boat's already full. Our boat's full of truth. Our boat's full of, we've answered questions. We've challenged it so that we're confident. We have a peace about it. And we get in with that's our baggage. That's what we're bringing with us. And the tools of, how do I get answers? How do I find peace in the storm? Right? Where's my shelter? Where's my sanctuary in all of this? Where's my light if there's no stars at night? Like, we're getting in our boat with all these tools, right? And then as the river of life is moving through eternity. It is on a continuum. So we get on it and we're floating on it through eternity, from at this point in time to the next point in time, right? We're leaving behind what's behind and we're moving into the future. And when we get to that desire, other desires we've had are already past that one, right? We're just moving to the next one. We're riding the current. We're not paddling like crazy, right? We're not jumping out and dragging the boat, right? We're riding on the current in the boat. If we're working really hard, let go. You're probably trying to paddle backwards, right? So the tools we bring on our life journey that we gain through our experiences, they carry us. And when the rain comes and the storm and the rocks and the waves and whatever it is, all of those tools, they'll either rise up as truth within us, or we'll find out where we're lacking. And then it doesn't take a 10-year plan. It takes a hot minute to go, oh, I don't need to have fear in that area. My boat isn't run aground. I didn't hit a rock, right? We have to remind our mind of the truth that we own, because the mind will take off at the first sign of fear and something out of the ordinary. Something changes, the mind's like, what? Right? The mind wants everything, keep going. So we ride along with ease, and we learn from the environment. We learn from what is happening, from what we are seeing, what we're up against. We can observe what's happening in our life and look at it with neutrality, understanding the boat's not going to flip over and we're not going to drown. If we focus, it's going to flip and drown, we'll probably make it flip and drown, right? It's like not going to happen. Like what we carry within us as truth is what is going to carry us and be our reality. So last week we talked about the benefits of surrender and the benefits of commitment, and how that helps us in every aspect of our life, every aspect. And so today's lesson was a visual idea, a picture about what happens as we're going along. And as we're moving through life and stuff is happening, we're either attaching to what's flying over, or we're not. And I heard this teacher once. He's like, birds will fly over, but you don't have to let them build a nest in your hair, right? So doubt and fear and concerns and anxieties will fly over. We can wave them by and be like, hey, I got the solution to that in my satchel, right? My heart. I know who I am. I know that what I need is going to be there every step of the way. If I need shelter, it's going to be there. If I need food, it will be there. If I need, a safe harbor, it's going to be there, right? If I need wind in my sail, it's going to be there, right? We have to know the truth of these concepts we're talking about. We have to own them, because when we own them, they kick in and take over, where you might be experiencing where fear, doubt, dread, and stress are taking over right now. So we're going to be we want to trade out those ideas for the truth about ourselves and about life, right, in our place in life. So that's my lesson for today. If you'd like to unmute and comment, that would be really super swell.
A lesson I needed to hear tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know, but what do I do with those 6 extra paddles I have tied to my boat?
Throw them overboard.
Going anywhere without those extra paddles,
Oh. Life is always showing us how we're being in a really loving way. In a really loving way. It's our perception, right? What we
It
perceive,
is.
what we perceive about, ourselves, our truth, and everything else. But
I feel affirmed in knowing that everything I have is everything that I need. You know, it just made me feel so nice and warm. Like no matter what's happening, you still got what you need taken care of.
and sometimes we have to say that, out loud. Um, I'm going to mute you, Yelena. Sometimes we have to say that out loud to ourselves. Like every time, if I have a thought that's contrary to a truth, I'll say the truth out loud to myself, um, so that I can, uh, because our voice, audible voice, has the most power in our life. Our voice goes into our ears and it affects us profoundly. So when we can say, oh, in opposition to that thought that I have given up, the truth for me is I always have everything I need. I always have everything I want, and I get goodies too. Because it's not about, we get this concept about, you know, um, we'll get exactly what we need, but we're supposed to have everything that we desire, right? And as we grow and evolve, what we really desire shifts and changes, um, gets more in line with what we're doing or where we're headed. So, but we're supposed to have it all. And so when we speak audibly to ourselves, um, then it moves that loop or that concept or that idea out of the way with a powerful voice that's our own. So so yes, we do have everything that we need, and then some. It's all floating around with us. So any other comments?
Another thing that came to mind was a sense of freedom, right? Like when you had the ice in the boat with the little knife, thought that was good. But I could imagine how much turmoil comes in, um, maybe not knowing or not understanding where you are and what your goals are, versus having a goal and just accepting or being able to be more accepting of things that come along the way as like maybe this is part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I'm focused on freedom, this is just a part of it. This is fortifying it. That's what that kind of made me think of, especially when you start taking them out of the bowl and putting them back. Like think supplanting those maladaptive thoughts with good thoughts. Like,
Yeah.
I am abundant. This is great. There's I got a sale. There's win. It's like a bird in the hand, right? And it's, it becomes more of a tool than a feature,
Yeah.
to my freedom.
Yeah. It's the perspective that we choose to have in the moment that makes all the difference. It's like saying, oh, I'm going to cast off my my desire because life was good before I ventured down this path, right?
Right, right,
But so
right.
many things within our life, oftentimes, even within ourselves, have to change in order for us to move into that passion, desire, whatever it is that we're sailing towards. Um, and part of the process is change, and change is going to be good if we're looking at it observing and with neutrality. We're going to have a little bit more perspective than if we're looking at it as it's either a yes or no, uh, a right or wrong of what I'm doing. Like it's, oh, it's a sign times are it's, you know, there's waves. That's a sign I made the bad choice. Something like that. That's not true. It's just things are changing. They're different than you thought.
And sometimes good things change too.
Yes.
So that was a really good thought.
Yeah. It's all good if we let it be. The resistance is the challenge.
Okay, my oars are going overboard.
I'm gonna help paddle.
One after the other. They're just floating along. I just have the one across my lap in case I,
You
go
know,
on a waterfall or something.
yeah, that's gonna help you.
Or whatever.
Hold on to it until you're ready to let it go. It doesn't matter.
That is exactly right. Oh my
That's what
goodness.
Tom's like, dump the junk. He says, dump the junk will come, but we don't have to keep it. No, we don't have to put it in the boat. We do not have to keep it.
But it's also wonderful. It's also wonderful to have friends in your life that can remind you of these things,
Oh,
like what you're doing with us right now, because not all of us are at the same place. And it's good to hear that other people are struggling, and it's good to hear that other people have succeeded and they're accomplishing what it is that you're allowing us to understand and to teach us. And I think that's just so important
mm-hmm.
because life gets in the way sometimes, and we get burdened with, well, because we get burdened, and we get brought down by the shit in life, pardon my language.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yes. And every I get I get it a lot. There's people who are farther along and people who are this, but guess what? We're all equal. We're all equal. We're having the same experience at different times. And that's the beauty of relationships because, we can walk hand in hand. We've walked hand in hand for what, 10 years, Don? Something like that. And we've gone, um, you know, I've had downs, you've had downs, I've had ups, but we've had them at opposite times. So we're continuing to travel. Our boats are in the river together, right? And so we're each one of us exactly where we should be. And we're just at having a different experience right now than each other. And that's why we help each other. Because it's offset on purpose. Right?
That's the cool part about it all.
Yeah, it's offset on purpose. And every one of us, every month of our life is cycling through growth in some aspect or another, right? Cycling through the birth pains of growth, getting stuck in the birth canal, coming out the other side every month, every 2 months, every week, it can feel like sometimes, but that's super exciting because we're elevating. That's how we elevate, is through growing. And then the next time we're like, I know what helped me last time. Or I'm not going to own that so much this time. Like that's how we do it. We evolve every time. Then the next time we're in the same position, because we will be, because guess what? That's how we know we grew. Then we make a different choice, and we're empowered. So we're all doing amazing, and all of us, each one of us is growing through, and it is super nice to come every week and to share and to listen, right?
Mhm.
and be part of each other's lives. It really is. Like we're family.
Really
Um,
grateful for that.
yeah, so grateful.
Truly am.
So grateful. You guys have no idea. Just try and not come. No. I'll be an enormous ice cube on your head. Just kidding. So let's do a meditation. So we're going to have a meditation, and we're going to be in our boat, find the equilibrium in our boat in life. Right in the middle of the boat is where we want to be. Not hanging off the back and not hanging off the front, but right in the middle, in the balanced place where we're in the now, we're in the right now, moving away from the past and towards the future, present in the right now. So eyes closed. Get comfortable within yourself. Begin to breathe. Notice if there's any noise in there. There's a lot of static. Picture a dial, a volume dial. Turn the volume down halfway. Notice the static get quieter. Turn the volume down to off. Look around inside yourself. Is anyone in there with you? If there is, open the door and let them out. This is your time. This is your time, nobody else's. Sit down in your secret place. Sit down in the place of balance inside you. Sit down knowing you are right where you belong in this moment. Connect with the love that's all around you. Breathe it in. Let it expand within you. Think of a time when you were happy, at peace, you were joyful. Think of a time in your life where you were just knowing you were right where you belonged. So happy. Everything was perfect. And connect with that emotion. Connect with that feeling of happiness. Feel the happiness and the peace inside you. Connect with it again right now. Let those feelings fill you up. Let the joyfulness fill you up. This perfect place of peace and joyfulness, happiness. This is your true self. This is who you really are. You can return here anytime you want and remind yourself. Return to who you are. Allow your high self to have more room. More room inside you. Let yourself smile, thinking about how good you feel in this happiness and peace. Remember the fun. Allow these emotions to permeate you. From this place of joy and happiness, look around inside yourself and see if there are answers there for what you need. Your high self has all the answers and wants you to have them too. Observe in your happy feelings if you see any answers for you. If you do, just notice them. And if you don't, that's fine too. Allow the sense of well-being to expand within you. All is well. Receive the peace, the love. Now take a breath. Notice how good you feel and open your eyes. Does anybody feel better? Mary Beth feels better. And
I
Naja,
feel fantastic.
good. When we are at any point in our life in the middle of something, if we can remember when we were happy and joyful, like a dog with its head out the window, when we were in a place of being so happy, like content, that's our authentic being. That's who we really are underneath the burdens that we are choosing to carry. So we can go there at any point and recalibrate. And while we're in there and it's quiet, um, and we're in joy, we can look around, because with an intention of an answer for something that we need, and we'll find it because it's there for us. We're just busy. We're just really busy and noisy inside, right? So go forth and shine brightly.
Thank you, Audrey. That was
The love
wonderful.
around. I love you.
Love you.
Love to all.
Love y'all too. Peace and blessings.